In this video, we are going to look at my SigSauer Cross chambered in 308. I've been really impressed with this thing. I'm excited to share some accuracy testing using 3 different types of ammo, how I decided to cerakote and outfit the rifle, as well as my thoughts and opinions about the build overall. The best way to support the channel is by becoming a member of the kit page, where I provide discount codes and links to everything I talk about on the channel. Make sure you're signed up for this month's range day. Details are linked below. Huge thank you to the sponsors of the channel, Guns Online. Thank you. Use this code at checkout to save some money. And of course, Optics Planet, use this code at checkout or use the better code on the kit page. Full disclosure, SigSauer did send over this base cross for me to review for free, and Optics Planet helped me outfit it with the accessories. So keep that in mind while I talk about things, but there's no money exchanged and no contracts in place. Hornady also sent out some ammo, which I'm very grateful to them, though their ammo did turn out to be the least accurate in my testing, so hopefully they send more ammo in the future, but after this review, I'll understand if they don't. Starting with the base, we have the SigSauer Cross TRAX, and the way it comes stock looks more like this. There were many things that I didn't like off the bat that I wanted to change out, but it was a really simple process to get it to look and feel how I wanted. The grip was the first super easy switch. I went with a dye-free grip, which feels pretty good in the hand and looks good. The one annoying thing though is the recoil kept making their plug fly out of the bottom of the grip. So it is what it is. I'm glad I didn't lose it. And I know the whole point of this build is to be short and light, but I just couldn't get behind the stock. Shooting 308 is already pretty uncomfortable, and though I will admit Sig did a really good job designing something very sleek and as comfortable as it could be, I wanted this to be more of a precision rifle rather than what it's actually made for. So I swapped out the stock for their Cross rifle stock, which is much more modular and allows you to more comfortably shoot long distances. Most everything else though, I left as OEM Sig. Their 2-stage trigger, stainless steel barrel, bolt and knob, ambi safety, and handguard are all just what comes stock, and I personally think it's all pretty great. No issues at all with any of it. The base rifle, even without upgrades, shoots really well. I will say though, once you get a suppressor on it, it's way more enjoyable to shoot. It is very concussive without something to mitigate the 16-inch barrel. So moving on to the accessories I used, starting at the top, we have the Banish 46 version 2. This is a titanium multi-cal suppressor that can signature reduce anything from 556 to 460, thus the name. It's a really good all-in-one option that suppresses a ton of calibers, but I will say their website says this is a compact suppressor. I mean, sure, for what it does, but it's 8 inches long, 9 if you add an ASR mount. That's not compact at all. In fact, most people would argue that that is massive. Anyway, it does what it says it does, and I've enjoyed shooting way more with it on. And actually, when my buddy and I were shooting the intro, I took off my ear pro when he was taking his shot so I could see how loud it actually is, and surprisingly, it didn't hurt my ears at all. So even though it's a big bore suppressor, I would say it still suppresses 308 very well. Like I said before, I switched out the mount for a Silencer Co. ASR so I could run the same Silencer Co. muzzle devices I run on most of my other builds. This allows me to run the same can on pretty much any other build I have without an issue. Moving down here, we have a simple Magpul bipod. I've liked these in the past and still like them for designated distance rifles. I tend to only put them on things I know I'll mostly be laying prone while using. If not, I've learned they're just added weight. I recommend using something else. I found that an M-LOK to pick rail with a bipod that connects via pick rail is the best way to go if you need to shoot stable but don't want the weight of a bipod on at all times. Quick detach is awesome for that. Anyway, Magpul is great here. Moving to the sling setup, it's just a basic Blue Force gear, nice and comfortable, and the QD socket is from Reptilia. I just like the way it looked, but it's also pretty nice. If the Reptilia is a little over budget, you can always just run a BCM one. It does the exact same thing. The optic is the Voodoo 5-25 MDA in MOA, being held by the Scalarworks Leap mount and has a low pro apparel scrim on it. The EOTech is solid. I am a huge fan of this optic so far. It does have a capped windage and uncapped elevation turret, but the elevation turret does have a locking mechanism to make sure nothing moves unless you want it to. So far, only good things to say about this scope. It's a fantastic option. The eye relief is really nice at all of its focal lengths. The glass is super clear, and the reticle option is very bright. I also have it in its long configuration, but that's genuinely just because I thought it looked cooler. And I like to keep the sun off the lens in case I'm shooting in brighter environments. The cerakote was sponsored by my friends at Culper Precision in collaboration for this video. I am super grateful for them because they did an incredible job job of making my vision come to life. If you're looking for the same Cerakote, they will absolutely take care of you. And I have a code on the kit page that you can use when you reach out to save a little money, because I know Cerakote can get pricey, but on a build like this, it is well worth it. I don't want to spend too much time in studio today. I know you want to see the results of my accuracy testing, so let's move on to the range portion of the video. I do need to preface this with, there are a lot of long range shooters in the community who are very talented, and I know a lot of you are going to watch this video and think, wow, I could do so much better. The fact of the matter is that is probably true. This is my first time with a bolt action rifle. I'm teaching myself, so you're literally going to watch me progress and learn through the accuracy testing video. I'm just a beginner. This is stage 1 of my progress, but you will see at the beginning of the video my groups are not very tight at all, and at the end they start to stack up pretty nice. So just keep that in mind. So welcome out to the range. We have everything set up. I've got a target set out to 100 yards. We're going to be shooting 3 different types of ammo. We have SigSauer 168 grain OTM match grade. These are flying at 2,700 feet per second. 2,700 feet per second. I actually had really good results with this the last time. We're also shooting Nosler 168 grain 2750 out the barrel. And then we have some Hornady match as well. These are 168 grain. And out of the muzzle, these are 2840. So I'm gonna load these mags up. We're gonna take some shots at the target downrange. I have everything labeled down there for the specific types of ammo I'm shooting. And let's see how I group. I might need to warm up a little bit, but let's see how it goes. So I think I'm gonna start with the SIG. I'm a little worried about that. Not sure I'm hitting very tight at all. Call this a warm up. Okay, well that's the 5. I am not making this gun look very good. Let's move over to the Nosler. I really hope I can pull myself together here. Much tighter of a group minus the one I pulled. Things should hopefully only get better from here. Let's move on to the Hornady match grade. Oh my goodness. Geez, this is not going great. We're gonna run the same line on the next row, see how these go, starting with the SIG. It's still not performing how I thought it would. It very well could be my fault. I was getting way tighter groups than this before, so let's see if I can change that. Let's move on to the Nosler. No. I'm just not proud of these shots. Okay, moving on to Hornady. Super interesting. I know I suck, but I didn't think I sucked that bad. So we are now moving on to row number 3. See if we can even hit the red. That would be great. Looks like the SIG and the Nosler are pretty closely grouped, but that could be because, so all of them are 168 grain, but the feet per second at the muzzle is drastically different. 2840 for the Hornady, 2750 for the Nosler, and 2700 for the SIG. I wonder if that plays into it. I also don't have a device to track standard deviation, so I don't know if the ammo is actually performing the way that it's supposed to. Really just a lot of variables here that I can't track. We kind of have to just go based off of what I'm capable of doing. So far I have been able to get the tightest group with the Nosler, so we'll see if that trend continues as we do the last row here. So starting again with the SIG, let's jump into this one. Okay, just shot that group with the SIG. So far, that's the tightest group we've been able to hit. I definitely felt like I was set up better. I placed it differently on my shoulder and it felt more secure and everything like that. So that definitely could have contributed. I would say most of the errors that you're gonna see today are my fault, just being a not very good long distance shooter. So far though, the SIG group did stack up pretty nicely. Let's see how the Nosler does.
That was an interesting group. That was the Nosler, third round. Let's see how the hornady goes. All right, moving on to the second target here. This is really just me getting into it, trying to figure out what actually works. So far, I was able to get the tightest group with the SIG, which actually has the lowest bullet velocity. And maybe it's just designed specifically for this gun. We're just gonna keep going with these, see if I can continue to hit that tight group again with the SIG and see if everything stays fairly consistent. I'm gonna shoot hornady first, Nosler second, and then SIG last to see if maybe I'm just tired at the end when shooting hornady. So we're gonna start with hornady, see how it goes. Well, moving on to Nosler. So fairly consistent. I think I found the best new method for me though, definitely is not tensing my entire body. Absolutely shove the gun into my shoulder. I am doing much more of a relaxed grip. As I breathe out, I firm up on the grip and I pull my finger very slow. So next up we have the SigSauer. I've been able to get the tightest grip so far with the SIG. Let's see if it continues. So far, that's pretty close to the Nosler, but I would say SIG is definitely the tightest so far. I would say probably the reason why they're not stacking is my fault, but the SIG ammo is actually really good. I was able to stack 2 inside the red there, so far SigSauer is definitely the most accurate out of this gun. Starting with the hornady again. Crazy. All right, up next we have the Nosler. Oh, my body is no longer wanting to cooperate with this pose. And last up, we have SIG. Oh, ow. That last shot was definitely my bad. I mean, those are just stacking right on top of each other. I mean, part of me wants to say it might be me, but the other part of me says, why do I shoot so well with SIG and I'm absolutely terrible with the hornady and decent with the Nosler? At some point, I have to assume that one of these ammos is more accurate than the other. The SIG by far, I mean, I'm able to stack these up. The Nosler was also doing fairly well, but I wasn't able to stack it as well, and that's shown today as well. And the hornady has just been really tough for me. I'm sure there's a factor with that with the muzzle velocity. I feel really bad because I feel like I'm not giving hornady a fair shot here. So far though, the SIG Marksman Elite is fantastic ammo. I'm gonna shoot one last group of each, and I mean, we're just gonna let the groups speak for themselves in the accuracy category. I've shot them all the exact same amount. Really impressed with the SigSauer ammo. Let's go again. I'm gonna show the targets in their entirety at the end of this video so you can see what the standard group size looks like from beginning to end. And I feel bad. I feel bad for hornady, but at this point, I'm starting to wonder if it's not my fault. All right, hornady, here we go. That one felt all right. Next up, we got Nosler. Wow, kind of rough. I mean, I do need to say the wind was blowing right there. Last round, SigSauer ammo. Ow. Oh, my body hates me. All right, I'm gonna do a little bonus round. SigSauer was the most accurate ammo for myself, so I have 10 rounds left of it, and I'm gonna see what the group looks like with all 10. To be honest, I don't think my body can take any more of this, but that was the last 10 rounds. We kept every shot in the A zone -1, which I knew I definitely pulled. So, I mean, I'm definitely impressed. I'm definitely gonna run the SigSauer ammo the most. I'm gonna go grab the target so you can get a better visual, just a little clearer of all of the groups, and we can talk about it a little. All right, so starting top to bottom, we've got the Hornady, Nosler, and Sig lineup. First with Hornady, first with Nosler, first with Sig. Hornady, not great. Nosler closing in, Sig getting a little better, but kind of consistent. Hornady, again, not great. Nosler, about average, pretty consistent, and Sig closing in the group there. Hornady closing in a little bit more, closing in a little bit more, and those were my last shots. So 1, 2, and 3. Nosler closing in, minus these 2 flyers, and then I absolutely ruined my last group. So maybe take the average. Most of my groups fairly consistent with Nosler besides that guy. SigSauer, very tight, very tight, very tight. This one definitely being my best, stacking these 3 rounds. So that is what the groups look like. I'm gonna zoom out here so you can see everything at once. And then because SigSauer was the most accurate, I decided to do a bonus round. Everything stacked in A zone minus a flyer, but I would say that is pretty good. I was also exhausted at this point. No excuse, just saying. So we first started this video by going to the actual range and shooting at 100 yards to see how we grouped. You saw how that went. After doing that, I wanted to come to a private range indoors. It's only 25 yards, but I want to see how things group. I want to see if there were any variables involved. So I should be able to stack rounds in here, hopefully, which is the goal. So I want to see if I get the same results or similar to what I got when I was shooting at 100. Obviously, everything should be much tighter in here, but I'm interested to see. So you're going to find out with me kind of how this test goes. I'm going to shoot the exact same ammo that I was shooting before, and I'll probably do just 10 rounds of each. So let's see how this goes. This is also slightly because I feel kind of bad if I gave Hornady a bad name. We'll start off first with the Nosler and see how it goes. That was a Nosler, first 5 rounds, pretty much what I expected. I was hoping that they would stack at least fairly nice. So it looks like, well, it's pretty much the results so far. We are moving along, moving on, Hornady. All right, there's the Hornady, kind of what I expected, but just based on the groupings I was getting out there, that looks about right, which is, I don't know, it's weird. It is definitely a little wider. So let's move on now to the Sig ammo. Let's see how this goes. I just don't know what to say. I mean, I hoped for that. I hope that would be the results, but it is just surprising in a way. I mean, I got almost the exact same groups that I was getting at 100 yards. It just has to be the ammo. So shocked. I'm honestly shocked at the results, but kind of cool to see how that goes. Now the barrel's hot. Let's run another 5 rounds and see what happens. Up first, let's run the Nosler. There's the Nosler ammo, did really well. Felt like those stacked up pretty nice. Still not as tight as the Sig, but very close. Let's run Hornady. Okay, the Hornadys actually stayed pretty close. I would say similar to Nosler, but definitely a wider group overall. So interesting to see that. Moving right along to the Sig. 1 flyer. I knew I was gonna do that. I almost kept every single one of those inside the exact same circle. So the SigSauer ammo is the most accurate out of this gun. So that is 10 rounds on target. SigSauer obviously performed the best, Nosler second, and the Hornady again, slightly bigger group, but kind of evident of what happened at the 100-yard range. So I guess that concludes this portion of the video. Now you've seen in 2 environments the accuracy of this ammo. To say the least, I'm impressed with SigSauer. I'm super excited to continue to shoot this gun. I have yet to take it past 100 yards, which I know I can get it probably to 1,000 with 308 very easily. So I'm excited to continue with the SigSauer ammo to see how far I can take it, and that you may have to wait till the next video. But for now, that's what I got here.
So that's the build. I absolutely love this rifle. I will say I was absolutely shocked at how accurate the SIG ammo was. That stuff is seriously next level. Make sure you get to the range and train. I've had an incredible time teaching myself how to get more accurate shooting distance. I will be sure to post another video about taking this rifle as far as it can go. I just wasn't able to get to it in this one, but that will be coming. I hope you can make it out to the range day, and I will see you in the next one.